Hey everybody, this is Seth Keeping It Real. I am live here in Costa Rica. This is a beautiful place near the equator, and it is like a rainforest, and it's sunny and it rains every day. And I am so privileged to be able to do this live. And Saad and Alan asked, they said, Seth, do you want to do it? You're on vacation. What do you think? What are your thoughts? You know, no problem. If you don't, we can handle it. And I said, guys, let's do it. Absolutely. This is a super cool opportunity, kind of like the one we did Saad when we were in Las Vegas. Remember that one? And the reason I love this, guys, is two reasons. One, I do believe in integrating work and play. I'm not saying it's wrong if someone goes on vacation and they don't work, or vice versa. But I know for me and with my family, we need to integrate it. There needs to be a balance. I'm mentally, if I completely check out from work, I go crazy. It's like I have to have something to focus on, and then the rest of the day I feel like I can relax. And second, this is not like work. This is pure fun, to be able to bring you guys content and help you guys succeed. And I know some of you guys have heard me say this several times, but just for a moment, I want to brag on a Just One Dime student. You guys saw it yesterday. He lives here in Costa Rica. He did, and I was incorrect yesterday when I mentioned it. I had the numbers too low, which is a good thing. You're on that direction. He did 43,000 in the last 30 days at 30% profit margin. He learned that as a Just One Dime student. He lives here in Costa Rica. His motivation is his family, specifically his two daughters. So I just want to encourage you guys, you can make this happen. And he went through a lot of problems to get there, but he kept going. This is why we believe in Amazon, and we believe it is still the fastest and easiest way. It's not easy, but the easiest to generate passive income quickly. And by passive, I mean it keeps coming in because you have your listings working. Coaching is not very passive. Ask Alan and Saad. If we were in this just for an easy life, we would not be coaches, because it requires constantly providing valuable, updated content, because Amazon changes constantly. We do it because we love it. We do it, yes, it does provide income, but also it's our joy. It's an outflow of our life. And Just One Dime is about building people. More than the three other assets, time and knowledge and money. They're important. But in people, you have all four. You have people, time, knowledge, and money. Just One Dime is about building people. And that's what we want to do. My hope is that by the end of this live Q&A today, you guys are stronger for building your stores. Whether or not you become a member of Just One Dime, if you do, will you scale faster? Of course you will. The arbitrage course is going to help you absolutely kick ass. But even if not, I have people who've messaged me and they started their entire store just watching this content, and that brings me joy. And we're here to help you absolutely crush it. So if you guys are ready for this, we're going to jump right in. We're going to do tons of content teaching, and then we're going to do live Q&A. So without further ado, how are things, Saad? How are things, Brother Alan? How's the beach where you're living right now?
I'm still in Montreal, so I have no beach, but hopefully very soon we're going to our meetup in Miami, so I'm very excited for that. Yes, besides that, everything is awesome. I cannot wait for this webinars, and I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're enjoying your Costa Rica. And you mentioned something very, very true, is that when you're on vacation, it's never vacation, and I don't feel it. Like when I'm on vacation, I need to work, right? So for me, it's joy. It's not like, oh, I'm working. For me, it's like, okay, that's another thing I'm doing in my day. So I think mixing both of them together will be a good thing to keep the momentum good, because the momentum, you lose momentum, you lose everything. So I think what you're doing is great, brother. And thank you so much for having us again here.
Yeah, and I'm getting ready for Miami too, man. So I had to take a couple of days off to relax before I go to work to Miami. So I'm here in Las Vegas today, just taking a couple of days off. And it's so funny because when you were mentioning about what, feeling like working, I've been visiting.
Can't hear you, Alan. You're cutting out, brother.
I've been visiting family these past few days, and they've been asking me, so how long have you been working on Amazon? And my answer all the time is, I feel like I haven't been working for the last 2 years, because it's fun, I love it, and I don't really feel like I'm working. So it's amazing to have this kind of life.
It's awesome. Well, brothers, sisters, let's do this. So, I mean, I'm talking to everyone, not you guys, brothers, sisters. All right. So, guys, here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through some very specific steps on how to start an Amazon store no matter where you live. And I want to say a huge thank you to Dan Rogers, who really pioneered a lot of the content which I'm going to deliver to you guys. And the reason he did this is he took a problem, and instead of complaining, instead of blaming, and instead of running away, you know what he did? He turned it into a solution, and now he helps others do that. And he sells both in the UK and the United States, and he will be with me in London. So if you guys are in Europe at all, we have a roadshow on September 8th. It's just a few weeks away now. I sent out a massive email to thousands of people, tens of thousands of people yesterday. We posted it online. Definitely don't miss that. It's a full freaking day in person and in touch. I encourage you to be there so we can show you the sales numbers, because you want proof, my friend, we will give you the proof. And watch yesterday's video. He pulled it up on the screen. You can see it right there, the proof of the sales numbers. So guys, I want to say thank you to Dan Rogers. He lives in South Africa. And what he did is he had to learn and figure out, how do I start a store? How do I even make this happen if I live over here, but Amazon is not approved in South Africa? What do you do? And some of you guys are in Guatemala, you're running into the same problem. Some of you guys are in different parts in the Middle East, you're running into the same problem. I'm going to show you how right now, and then we're going to open up to Q&A. And guys, keep in mind, you can start Amazon arbitrage from anywhere. It's just a matter of setting it up correctly. Okay, so first of all, who is this for? This is specifically for entrepreneurs who are way out in non-Amazon accepted countries. Amazon provides a list of countries that are accepted and ones that are not. Entrepreneurs, this is also for entrepreneurs looking to think outside the box in terms of where they place their business. So you're really having to hustle and think of a solution. This is also for entrepreneurs who want alternative online banking solutions. And it's also for entrepreneurs looking for bolt-on solutions. In other words, they need multiple currencies easily, because that's another challenge. If you live in a different country, you're selling in .com, it's coming in as USD. How do you get transferred to UN or colones or whatever the currency that you're using? Important things to keep in mind. As a general rule of thumb, you do not want to set up a company that is not in an accepted Amazon country, because residence generally is not needed in order to set up a company elsewhere. You are going to want to start off with a professional account. You cannot start off with an individual. Start with a professional, or you will delay the process and make it much more challenging. Your business's bank account does not need to be in the same country as where the business is registered. And the bank accounts may be the biggest challenge, but there are options for online bank account alternatives, and we're going to teach each of those to you guys. The step number one is you simply need to decide, where do I set up my company? Okay, and what I would recommend, and many of the Just One Time coaches recommend, is find an expert who can help you do that. You can do it a lot faster. I have 3 lawyers who work for me, and they do an awesome job. And if I need to start up a new company, boom, they just set it up where I need it to be. You want to incorporate and gain all the relevant documents for your company, and your goal is to have a registered office address for this company in that country, okay? And then you need to aim to set up a local bank account in the same country if possible. So your bank account and your company are in the same country together. The next step is you're going to open a business bank account. And if you already have your company documents and you're able to use them and gaining further services under your business name, that shouldn't be a problem. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up this bank account, and you're going to aim for a reputable bank. I would not recommend some, local, not well-known, especially non-FDIC insured bank. And the reason for that is that for some reason that bank went bankrupt, and I'm being very punish right now on purpose, you could lose all that money. So if they're FDIC insured, what that means is if something went bad with the bank, the government will still make sure you get that money back. You could actually try to set this up in the country of your company's registration, like as an offshore bank account if you want, and you can set up the business bank account up somewhere else, such as in your own home country. So what you need to do is visit your local bank and check and just find out. Okay, the next step is you're going to choose an online global payment service, and this is super important. Now, how many of you guys have heard of Payoneer? How many of you guys have heard of World First? World First actually interviewed and spoke with the manager for World First, who actually lives in Austin, Texas. And she's an incredibly sharp lady. She explained to me so much and helped me to understand this better. And this is what she does. Her full-time job is helping Amazon sellers get their account set up. Because here's what happens. When your currency is converted, Amazon's going to charge you between 4 and 5%. World First will only charge you 2% or less. So here's an example. There's a US-based Amazon seller who wants to sell on Amazon UK. World First will actually provide you with your UK bank account number, which you can plug into your Amazon seller account, which eliminates Amazon's conversion fee, which saves you money. And then they enable what's called repatriation of your earnings back, that means to receive back, to your account in the US at a much lower cost. So I would highly recommend you start with World First. We actually have a special rates for just for members. It's in the tool section, the startup section, guys. If you're the getting set up section, if you haven't used it yet, super awesome option for you guys. Payoneer is probably more popular. I think World First is not as well known around the world, even though their name is World First. Payoneer is another option, and it works very similarly. And what it does is it creates an online bank account. So it's not like you can walk into a bank and talk to a teller. It's all online. And it allows you to have multiple currency receiving accounts. So you could be receiving Chinese yuan, you could be receiving Costa Rican colones, you could be receiving United States USD all at the same time into your bank account. And the nice thing about it is all of these receiving accounts are accessible online. So you just go online and log in. Now, what's nice is outwardly, all of these, each of these is viewed as a legitimate bank account in these specific countries. So for example, you may have, let's say, a Wells Fargo USD account. And then you may also have an HSBC GBP account. And all of these accounts will have all the usual bank account details like a number, the SWIFT or IBAN code for doing transfers. The nice thing about this is it allows you to easily set up with any Amazon marketplace regardless of your location. Doesn't matter where you live. And the account must be linked with a real World Bank account of your own for easy withdrawal if that's what you want to do. Payoneer offers both individual and business accounts as well. So just to summarize, guys, the advantage of having an online account is it means you're not restricted locally. So for example, I could be living in Kuwait, have a Payoneer account, selling on Amazon.com, and what I do is I have a business set up so that the money from Amazon automatically goes into Payoneer. Amazon treats it like as if it was a local bank account attached to my bank or to my company set up in the US. From Kuwait, I can log in and have that transferred to my currency. I don't know what the currency is, I bet Saad, you know the answer to that. But to my currency for a much lower fee than if Amazon transferred it for me. And if Amazon is not accepted in Kuwait, it doesn't matter. Because of Payoneer or because of World First, I can still sell while living in Kuwait. There's multiple pros and cons of each. I'm not going to get into those right now. But something else you guys need to do is make sure you set up a professional seller central account, not the individual. And what you're going to do is you're going to have your company set up in an Amazon accepted country. So let me go back. I'm trying to think of a really far out place. Let's take Guatemala, because I know this one well. And we're going there in December. Guatemala is not accepted on Amazon. What that means is if you have a bank account and a business in Guatemala, you can't become a seller on Amazon. That means your business and your bank account have to be set up somewhere else. So when you set up your professional seller account and you set up your company, that company is going to be located in a country where Amazon is accepted, like the US or Canada. You see what I mean? Or even Mexico, which is helpful because the lack of a language barrier if your first language is Espanol. Then with Payoneer or World First, you can still get your money into Guatemala because Payoneer is like the holding company. The money goes from Amazon to Payoneer, from Payoneer to your bank account. Or sorry, let me go back. It goes from Amazon to Payoneer, and you can extract that and bring it into Guatemala to use. Okay? So there's several things you're going to need. You're going to need certificate of registration, which is pretty typical with your certification of incorporation in most countries. You need proof of your bank account. You need proof of address. You need your statutes of association. You need your scope of your business. You need your share allotment document. You need your ID. Basically, all your company data, put it in one file or one folder, and from there, you need to set up your account, okay? And that's how you set up your professional seller account from an Amazon accepted country. There's a lot of documentation involved, you guys. Keep that in mind. But again, as a general of thumb, you have Amazon over here, okay? Money comes in. It goes from there to Payoneer or to World First, all right? And from there to the bank, and you extract that into your local currency, all right? Okay, I just wanted to give you guys an overview. Saad and Alan, can you guys add anything I missed, anything you feel like we should include in this before we open it up for Q&A, brothers?
No, it's actually a great explanation, brother. It's awesome. The only thing I would like to add also for Payoneer, they do also provide with debit cards, so you can use that outside if you need it. So that's something that people can keep in mind. For the people who their Amazon is not supported by Amazon themselves to open up an account, for example, there's some countries you cannot. There's still a way around it. So the ones that you were talking about is not for the countries that Amazon, yes, you can sell. They're supported by Amazon. The ones that you can't, you actually still can do it if you have someone in the States. You can partner up with them. They can open LLC under their partnership, and you be under the LLC, so you can avoid that. It's really tricky, but it's possible. So I just want to let know people, because some people, I think Kuwait, Bahrain, and all these countries, sometimes they cannot do it, but there is a way around it.
That's really good. And this reminds me of something, Alan, you were telling me when we go to Guatemala, we're talking about how to help people set up their account for Amazon. Remember this, Alan? And you mentioned bringing someone, because it's difficult to fly into a different country. You have to deal with your passport, sometimes your visa. So it might be easier to bring someone from the US down to Guatemala and help them set it up there. Because here's the thing, to set up a bank account, almost always you physically have to be there. Like if it's a physical on-the-ground bank account, you have to walk in. Could you talk about that a little bit, Alan, and what that solution is like?
Well, we were talking to a bank in the U.S. Manager, and he was willing to even go to Guatemala with us and do the opening of the accounts for the bank, and just being there in Guatemala, because instead of people having to fly to the U.S. and having to do all of that, which some people might not be able to do it, they're even willing to go and do it in the U.S. as long as everybody, as long as the people has all the documents that they need. So that's one of the options that you can do. And even though all of this kind of feels, overwhelming, it's not. It's just some of the paperwork that we have to do, and a lot of the things are done automatically by people that we have to pay to do that. So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. Guys, don't be overwhelmed by it. We have students on our team who are in very far out places, and they take the steps necessary, and within a few weeks, they're set up. Now, there is one thing I didn't talk about yet. Maybe, Saad, you want to elaborate on this. For specifically, especially for doing arbitrage, but this is actually going to apply in both cases as well. What about getting my products? So let's say I live in Guatemala, I live in Kuwait. I need to get my products to Amazon. Help me with this. We're doing arbitrage. We're online. I'm going to have them shipped from, Walmart online or Kohl's online. What about the third-party packing supplier shipping companies, Saad?
Yes, for sure. That's the way that you do it for people from outside. Usually is hiring a prep center. We have a list. I mean, the link that we have down below this video, we have the prep center that we recommend. You get the products, let's say buy them from Target, send them to a prep center. The prep center will prep them, will put the FNSQ for you. And once they prep everything and they have enough products, they will ship the whole box to your Amazon warehouse. And once it's being processed, then you'll go right away and start selling. The only thing you need to do basically when you do from outside, we highly recommend that we go with the higher price items. So I mean, it's not $10, $20 items. Maybe you can go a little bit higher, 30, 40 bucks. Why? Because you want to compensate for the charges the prep center that charges you, like $1 for prepping, and that's it. And you should be good to go.
Yeah, and as a general of thumb, you're looking at $1 per item for prepping. That's a really good point. So make sure your profit margins are there. Awesome. Well, guys, we just wanted to give you a quick crash course on how to do that. If you need more help, join Just One Dime Arbitrage. I'm going to be very blunt and very direct. If you need help, we will help you. I just got an email a couple of days ago thanking Saad and Alan for the training and all that they're doing to help people scale. And this guy is now making money. And when I say money, that could be anywhere from 500 profit a month to 20,000 profit a month or more, or 100,000 profit a month. It depends on the person and how hard they're working and the situation that they're in. Our goal is to help you, and we can help break it down much more simply. But in the meantime, I want to just jump into these questions. Saad and Alan, I'm just going to start reading them off, brothers, and let's do this. Okay, so the first question is from Marion. She says, have you ever offered a discount on Amazon to business buyers for placing a bulk order? We were emailed by Amazon today to set this up. You guys have any experience in this?
if it's the service that Amazon offers as a business account, yeah, you can do that. On arbitrage, the model or the method that we teach is buying a very few units of each product. So it's very hard to set up a business account or to offer products to business account when you only have 1 or 2 units of each product. But if you're thinking on maybe doing something like wholesale and you're gonna have 100 units of each product, then you can set up a business account and you can configure your listing where if it's a business that is buying and they're buying 5 or 10 units, you can give them offer them a discount, and that'll be another avenue of revenue that you can use on Amazon.
I just would like to add something very quick here, Seth, yes. Brother. I think, Alan, you mentioned great, but I just want advice for Marian. Is business to business, it's really, really great solution if you have a product that's replenishable and you'll be able to offer deals. Because if you're able to set up that setting with business to business and apply for it, and you get some people who orders every month, you actually have a steady income coming from one company because they like the 2-day shipping, they like the fast service, they like the 30 days return. So I really recommend that you do it if you have a product in that nature.
Yep. And the other thing I was going to mention that's really good, you guys. The other thing I was going to mention is, so Amazon, once you're selling and you have a strong history, they'll often offer this to you. This is what they did for us. They offered it to us. So we accepted it. Our product, this particular product that we wanted to be sold for business, is in the science and industrial category. As mentioned, I believe Saad, you mentioned this, it's a replenishable product people use in labs. So once they use it up, it's gone. They have to get it again. So you do, as long as your profit margins are strong, they're going to buy in bulk, which is really nice. You're going to make more cash. You can make more revenue at a little bit smaller margins. You can 100% control those discounts. So Amazon doesn't say, hey, it has to be this. You can actually control what you want those to be. And then they go into a different section on Amazon. It's the business section. So if you go to amazon.com/B2B/info/Amazon, amazon.com/B2B/info/Amazon-business, it'll take you to the business section. So let's say I own a restaurant and I need to buy coffee mugs, one of our favorite examples. So I can go and buy a massive quantity of coffee mugs because I need a lot more than Bobby McGee, who's buying it for Father's Day for his dad. So I need to buy 2,000 of them. So I want to get a discount. And so this is a place where you can offer that to other businesses. That's the idea. Okay, cool. Let's keep going, guys.
I'm sorry, but this excites me a lot. You have no idea, because if you get a replenishable item, and especially like private label, you actually get an icon with subscribe. So like Tide Pods, if you go to them, they have subscribe. That means every month it goes automatically. So imagine if that happens with Marian. It's just really fantastic.
They do this with coffee. They do this with tea, a lot of replenishables. We are actually customers of that and sellers. So it's kind of cool on both sides. You get it's cool. All right. Great question, Marian. Okay, what's up, Kyle? Good to see you, brother. Hello, guys. I need to boost my sales. How can this be done? Brothers, who wants to take a shot at this one? It's a great question.
There's two things. Build your stock, get more stock in, build your inventory too much. Make sure that you just keep adding every week. And we always recommend that in our class. At the same time, there's a small PPC strategy that we recommend. I tried to mention last week, but I don't think we should, because really I don't want it to be saturated to this trick. And I want to make sure only to give the benefit for our students. But yes, there is a PPC strategy that we do with a low bid strategy that really generates some sales at a very, very low cost.
Yeah.
One of the things I always recommend is learn to buy quality product. And by quality product, I don't mean the actual quality of the product. I mean good BSR, good sales moving products, good quality listings. So you have to learn that. It takes some time, but that's not be one of your goals. You have to learn how to buy high quality products so you can sell them fast.
That's a great point, because you're investing in your listing. It's the listing that gets you the sale. I know it's the product that they get, and that's important, but it's the listing, its position, where is it, how is it doing, it has everything to do with how you make money. All right, what's up, Jacques from California? Good to see you. Great question, Kazito. Salima says, what categories would you start with? Specifically, what are some good categories for quarter 4?
All right. I like home and kitchen. It's going to be really great. I'm talking about now. Are we talking about retail arbitrage or private label? Because we know we have knowledge in both, so I keep switching. If we talk about
from both sides, just so everyone knows, this is about arbitrage. Every Wednesday at noon, it's arbitrage 100%. Now, if you have it that relates to private label, we'll give you information on that. But every Thursday, we're going to start doing live Q&A for private label. But yeah, go for it, man. However you want that side. Here's the cool thing. Scott and Alan and I, we do both. So we understand both sides. Go for it.
That's right. You know what? So let's talk. It's generally usually home and kitchen. Home and kitchen, you have toys and games. Any industrial and scientific, there's a lot of product that are very weird, like beer making kits, wine making kits that you actually can sell as a giftable items. And anything for giftable items, for example, his and hers, king and queen products, anything that capture relationship, a specific age, specific demographics. These stuff sells very well. But if regular products, it's going to be home and kitchen and toys and games, and for sure shoes also works.
Yeah, a lot of times they restrict. Did they do it last year? I know they did it the year before. I can't remember, but everyone's waiting and waiting. Are they going to restrict toys and games? For sellers who have a good standing, they don't restrict it during Q4. Sometimes they will restrict if you don't have a lot of sales history. A lot of people, because of course they want to sell toys during Christmas. But if you already have previous good sales record, chances are you're accepted to do that. But usually they send an email letting you know if you've been approved or not before Christmas season hits.
It still exists. Still, you need to hit like a threshold, basically a few sales. It doesn't matter in any category. It doesn't need to be in toys and games. So anything, you should be fine. So if you start sooner and just send some products in and get some sales, even at a break even, we highly recommend it because it becomes very profitable in Christmas time.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect time to kind of start working towards, building your sales history and start getting ready for Q4 and Christmas.
Yeah, do it now, guys. It's going to be here so fast and so soon. The next question, I love this question. Michael says, I want to move to Thailand, but my confusion is that I can set up a virtual address as my US-based business address, but what do you do about FBA removal orders? Where will you have those sent? I'm going to take a shot at this, guys. Feel free to jump in. So the only way you can do removal orders, it will go to the country where you are selling. It won't go to another country. You do have the option to have Amazon dispose of those, so they're just gone because you don't want to deal with it, or you could have an address or someone to receive it for you in that country. Now, Saad has kind of a cool situation because he's really close to the border. You want to expand on that, brother?
Yes, that was my old days when I was really little cute guy. Basically what I did, I used to get, that's the truth what happened. I'm telling you, it used to be crazy. Every week I used to cross the border to collect all, any product that I get returns or anything of that nature. Now I don't do that anymore. I just have a prep center. So the first solution you do it, if you really want to cross the border, you get UPS account there, so you get the returns there, and you go every week or every month and just collect your returns. The other option, which is the best, is basically get a prep center, get the product sent to them, and you can say, hey, if it's good, they will resend it back into stock. If it's not, they just dispose them. So, or the third option, if you really don't want to deal with none of that, you just, if you have a product that's really cheap, just dispose it, just get rid of them, and they'll charge like 30 cents by Amazon themselves.
Hector asks, tax question. What do you think about the new Congress law that approved taxes for every online sale? I think it's frustrating. I am disappointed with it, but it's going to take time to roll it out. I have a tax lawyer who works with me directly, and his advice is it'll take years, but if you're anything related to California, you better be on top of it. Anything related to Washington, anything related to Pennsylvania, because those states are really cracking down hard. So long term, yeah, does this a new seller, will they be affected by paying taxes for every single sale? I would set up with a third party like TaxJar, so it's automated for you and you don't have to worry about it. So Amazon will charge it automatically. But is there anything you guys want to add to that? How do you guys handle this, Saad and Alan?
For me, I just have my CPA handle all of that. And the advice that he gave me, at least in Georgia for now, is I just worry about collecting taxes in Georgia, and everything else, I don't collect any taxes. And as long as it's gonna be mandatory, then we're gonna have to implement new strategies.
One more thing, guys, I would like to add, especially us as Amazon sellers, we have Nexus. So basically, we have presence in everywhere where warehouse is for Amazon. So for sure, we need to collect sales tax. But the new good thing, especially for eBay sellers, are really a little bit shaky about it, and they're worried about it because usually they don't have Nexus. They are the warehouse themselves. So what happened? The new lawsuit that happens, they're talking about if you have around $100,000 of sales in a specific state and more than 200 orders per state, then you have to collect the sales tax. Actually, that could be a good thing for us. So for example, if we sell a lot of things to California only, maybe we need to pay only sales tax there. But the threshold has to be 100,000 and 200 orders per state. So that can lower your risk. If you don't, I mean, you have 52 states, and if you only sell in 5 states, maybe you can apply for them to begin with, and then you can slowly start when you're growing and you make 100,000 per state. Then you'll be more than happy to do it because you're making 100,000 times 52. That's $5.2 million. So you'll be a happy man. But that's the threshold, which is slowly is going to be rolled out.
And if you're doing just bare minimum, guys, like really bare minimum, at the least, collect taxes for the state that you live in that you're shipping to, because you definitely have Nexus there. And actually, I spoke to a different tax lawyer. This is all he does is taxes. He also helps people with like employee wages and stuff like that. And I said, I want to hear it from someone else, not just from TaxStar, because they obviously have motivation to say that, because then you buy their service. Nothing is bad. I just want to be sure. And he had he couldn't have an ulterior motive for telling me this. He said, yes, it's true. What Assad said is true. If let's say the warehouse is in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. They have a warehouse there. Many of our products go there. Then that means even if we didn't live in Texas, let's say we lived in Oklahoma or Louisiana, we have a nexus in that state. Just because it's being held in that warehouse, it is legally a nexus. So just the bare minimum, collect taxes. If the state you're selling to and living in, shipping to and living, it's where it ships is where matters. But exactly what Saad said, there's an advantage of spreading it out. And it's going to be slow. It's going to take time for people to catch up. But really, really good question. And thank you for asking that. I forget who asked it, but it's really good. Ohad says, hello, will you upload the seminar on London to the Just For Now website for those who cannot be there to watch it on Saturday? So this is exclusive content for people who attend only. There's an advantage of being there, and they also get a full video and audio recording of the entire event. So you have to be there to get the content, guys. However, keep in mind, we're doing road shows around the world. We're going to be in China the week before, doing tons of training on PPC and how to use PPC to hunt for products with your own sourcing assistant in EWU. After that, we're going to be in New York. Then we're going to be in Florida. Then we're going to be in Guatemala, then Austin, and then our big sub in Los Angeles next year, which I cannot wait for. We have some super cool stuff we're planning for you guys. Yes. So anyways, stuff will blow your mind. I promise. You will not expect. So at this point, it is only for people who attend. It's exclusive content. What's up, the Indian boss? What's the best way to get reviews? I love this question. Alan, do you want to take a shot, brother?
Yeah, yes. Organic is kind of like the best way to do it. But if you want to help your review count, you can automate that process, and every time you get an order, besides the emails that Amazon sends out to the customers automatically, you can follow up with them with the customers by sending a few emails, maybe 2-3 emails after Amazon, and just trying to provide customer service, trying to make sure that the experience that the customers are having with Amazon and your products, it's a high quality experience, and always trying to ask the customers for a review. You cannot ask directly. You send an email and say, "I want your review. Give me a review." But you can always send an email to provide more customer service and ask for a review at the end. And that's gonna be the best way. Now, every time you get a review, most of the time you need to have a lot of sales to be able to get a review. I don't know if you agree with me, Seth, but for me, it's about for every 100 sales. Even if you automate emails to ask for reviews, for every 100 sales, you might get maybe 5 or 10 at the most people responding to reviews. So you have to be proactive and be sending those automatic reviews. And but it's gonna be slow. It's always gonna take time to get those reviews in.
Yep. It's really, really good, 100%. And I like what Michael said, be careful, because the best and safest ways to get reviews is organic, so you don't get your account suspended. Amazon's been cracking down on that. So we, as Just One Dime, have pulled way, way back from encouraging people to try to get reviews artificially. Like, really, truly organic is the best way to go. And here's what I love about what Alan's saying, you guys. It focuses on building a brand. You want to build a brand. The day comes when you actually go to autocomplete and like, we have our own keyword search tool with Jot Toolbox. When you type in a word, it'll show you what people are searching and on Amazon. And when your brand comes up, that is like a victorious moment. Like, oh my goodness, people are actually searching for my brand. That means your brand value has value. Now, someday you could turn around and sell that. Just yesterday, I was speaking to a Just One Dime student, Amazon seller, and one of his goals is to sell his business in just a few years for a very exact number, and it's in the millions. That's his goal. That's what he's striving for, and he's going fast and moving there quickly. That kind of thinking is how you make money. But if you do a shortcut to it and try to get them artificially or incentivized, you risk having your reviews removed. You risk not being able to leave reviews for people who did leave reviews. And the sad thing is Amazon has done a bunch of sweeps. They've taken out the guilty and the innocent along with them. It's like this tidal wave, right? It took out the criminals, but also took out a lot of innocent people too. There are people who never did a single incentivized review, and all of their reviews that were organic were removed. I know that's not fair, but be encouraged, you guys. If it's happening to you, it's happening to me, Saad, Alan, everyone. So it's a little even playing field. So if we're all struggling, guess what? That doesn't give someone else an unfair advantage. You can still make this happen.
No. Brother Seth, I would like to mention
Yeah.
only one thing. I think you guys mentioned everything awesome. You know, we're working on a big strategy to be able to build a brand, to be able to build the reviews by using a lot of Facebook ads, chatbots, ManyChats, everything. I'm okay with it. But the flip side, it's now the level, I mean, the playing field is leveled. So what means, go ahead and check the product that used to be saturated now, and you will see the opportunity that you have. Because a lot of them are actually, the big players are out, and now the reviews are very low. So now is the time for you to check products and find those products that are used to be saturated, and now it's the best time for you to launch them. So do not get discouraged. Actually, it's a very good thing to happen.
Yeah. You know what I love about these interviews, Saad and Alan, and everyone, please listen closely to this. This is what I'm seeing over and over and over again. Every time there's a problem, Saad's perspective is, here's an opportunity. And it's not fake, like, oh, let's just put a little nice, nice packaging over a rotten corpse. That's not what he's doing. It's like, no, there's a real opportunity here. That's how entrepreneurs think. They're positive people. When they see a problem, what immediately goes in their mind? Solution. I'm going to be the solution. That's why they make great money. That's how you can make money. You must have that perspective. That perspective, no one can do for you. You have to do it for yourself. And that is the culture and the nature of Just One Dimers. I've seen people go through so much just pain trying to make this happen. And now they are extremely wealthy because they chose not to give up and they kept going. What happened? You know what the most beautiful part is? Not the money now in their account. Well, that's awesome because they can travel the world. What happened in here? On the inside, they grew. I think that is one of the greatest gifts of being an entrepreneur, is it forces you to grow into a bigger person. And that is the culture of Just One Dime. And those of you guys who are in the arbitrage membership or in the private label membership, you know what I'm talking about. That's who we are. That's the kind of people. And that's the kind of people we want to invest in. Saad, Alan, myself, and other coaches. Thank you for sharing that, Saad. That's what I love most about your answer is not just the answer, but your perspective on how you view that, which I absolutely love. And someone here mentioned all his organic reviews were removed. So exactly, 100%. That's exactly what has happened. And so, Lee, Luke, all I want to say is I want to encourage you to keep going. Do not give up. The only way you fail is if you give up. It's okay to fail, but don't give up. Don't quit. Keep going. You will get them back. In fact, be encouraged with this, Lee. Marion here, let me go back to her chat, who is a Just One Dime member. Marion, where did you go? Sorry, guys, I'm scrolling. She's running as fast as she can. I'm trying to catch her. Where are you, Marion? There you go. Okay. She gets for every, I lost it again. Here we go. She says this: I've been finding that we get approximately 1 review per 10 to 15 orders when we send a follow-up email. Now that's very high. Most people don't get that high. That means she has found a way to connect with the customer. People leave reviews for emotional reasons, not logic reasons. They feel good about it, right? They feel good about the person. Marion knows how to connect with people. She is a Just What I'm student. She's taking what she's learned, she's applying it, and now she's getting an insane percentage of reviews. That's how you want to do it, my friends. That's a great example. So kudos to you, Marion. That's awesome. That is not easy to do. All right, guys, let's go to another question. We're going to wrap it up here in just a couple minutes. Let's see. Marion sold 22 units straight away to one buyer. Wow, Marion, you're crushing it. Salima says, is it possible to get your Seller Central account suspended if you do arbitrage and FBA? And I think by FBA, you mean private label from the same account. No, you can absolutely do both. It's not a problem. One of my accounts we do both on. And a lot of that, my wife, Kimberly, manages, and I manage the private label part, and then others are 100% devoted to private label. So yeah, there's no issue there. Amazon doesn't care. Let's see, Victor says, an issue that I have is Amazon is the only, I love this question, is the only other FBA seller, even though my product is already a FBA and my price matches Amazon's, but the sales are not shared for some reason. Brothers?
Is this if this is an arbitrage product? What I want to see first when I'm analyzing a product is I want to see Keepa and see how often does Amazon goes out of stock to see if I'm going to be able to sell when Amazon is not in stock. And the other thing is I always try to lower my price about 1 to 2% lower than the price of Amazon, so that you know, it's enough incentive for me to get sales from other customers, and you know, Amazon still shares the buy box with me. But all of that is gonna have to do also with your metrics. It has to do with, you know, how long have you been selling on Amazon? You know, what is your sales history, your feedback, and things like that. So my first thing will be, you know, try not to get on listings where Amazon is selling. But if you're already there, just try to lower your price about 1 or 2% lower than Amazon, and then have your metrics well, so Amazon can share the buy box with you.
And if it's Amazon warehouse deals, that means it's products that are returned that were used, so the price probably will be better, but it's still used. That's like warehouse. It's sort of like we threw it in the warehouse, it's used. So in my experience, I never worried about it. It didn't seem to impact my sales at all because they're doing returns. They're doing used products. Mine are the new ones, and so that differentiates me enough. Cool. All right, guys. Let's do one more question. How do you make a private label? So, do you want to take this one, brother?
That's a very easy question, man.
Give me the easy ones.
It's easy or it's hard, depending on how you look at it, right? How do you make a private label?
Let me think about it. Hold on a second. No, I'm just joking. No, it's easy. Find high potential products on Amazon. The one that has a good demand with low competition is easier said than done, but it's very possible. It's very, very easy once you learn it. It's a formula. Once you do that, you will need to contact some suppliers from China to see if they can provide this product for you. For sure, you're going to do your own differentiation. Make sure that's really a good product. And then once you get the good supplier, basically you're just going to have your brand on the product. You can have the logo on the product, on the packaging. I prefer both of them. And that will be a private label, basically your own brand. And then you can sell it, it'll be replenishable, and you'll be able to sell the same product over and over and over. And I really believe within 6 months, you should be profitable and you should be on your second order. And that's the formula. Is very easy.
He just summarized private label beautifully. And I got to show you guys something really quick before we go. I want you guys to see, for those of you guys who didn't before, I'm not in Austin, Texas. I'm in Costa Rica. If I go too far out, I might lose internet, but I'll try a little bit so you guys can see out here. So you guys can see the palm trees. I promise I know my trees. Check this out, you guys. And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is this is one of the joys of selling on Amazon. I'm in Costa Rica. I'm making money on Amazon. Just a few days ago, I was in Austin. I was making money in Amazon. If I walk 2 minutes that way, that way, I'm at the beach. And those of you guys who are not following on Instagram, every freaking day you're going to get content on Instagram, free content, shorter bites. As you're going through your day, pick up your phone, boom, there's 5 minutes or 10 or 15, and some of them are live, helping you with your Amazon stores. But literally earlier today, I started over there on the beach. And I want to do this to show you guys, not to like, oh, look at how wonderful I am. No, that's not it at all. I went through hell to get there. But I'm going to encourage you guys with this. It's worth it. You can make it happen. You can literally sell on Amazon anywhere in the world. So if you didn't watch it, go back to the beginning of this video and rewatch the beginning. How do you set up your account? Do not let in your mind, if you're letting geography and location limit you for selling on Amazon, that limitation is only in one place in your brain, because it's not reality. You can make it happen. And if you want us to help you and show you step by step how to do that, join Just One Dime Arbitrage. So these two ninjas, Saad and Alan, can take you through the steps to make it happen. We will do everything we can to help you, because we are in this business. And what it is, building people so they succeed. That is our joy. That's what we do. I love you guys. I wish you success. Get out there and crush it. Take ownership for your success. You can make it happen. Thank you, Saad and Alan, for being here, brothers.
All right, guys. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Oh, and Saad, Samila says, Saad, you are still cute.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm fluffy.
Next time he's going to be wearing like a big fluffy hat or something. All right, guys. Everyone, go out there and do it. Take the next step. I don't care if you just started or you've been doing it 10 years. Go take the next step. Take ownership for your success. I love you guys. Bye.